Listen, since we're talking about California and we're talking about politics, what made you say Donald Trump is a loser, Wiley?
I believe Donald Trump is a loser, number one. The reason why he lost when we were dealing with the pandemic, he took it as a joke. He said the pandemic is not real. It is the China virus. Don't he just made it. He talked about bleach. He was talking about pine saw. He was just tone deaf to the pandemic. He did not act like a leader. Now, I did like his roasting and his jokes and stuff, but this wasn't the time to tell jokes. People were actually dying. I was on the front line as a CNA, and I saw patients just dying at a high rate, and it was running rampant fire. And one of my coworkers, she had problem with her oxygen. She got it. She can no longer work. She's on disability now because of complications of COVID. I believe if Trump would have handled COVID correctly, the pandemic correctly, he would still be the president of the United States. He would just be closing out his second term. But because he made jokes and said it's the China virus from China, and even if that's true, you still was making jokes about it. You didn't take it serious. You should have shut down the country. You should have educated the people, even if people did not want to take the COVID shot. Even if you didn't want to take it. At least tell people, wash your hands, social distance, let's do better, about cleanliness, right? You didn't even want to do that. He just made a joke.
Wiley, and I'm going to pass it to Don in a second, but now they're treating it as some common cold. They say you can come to work if you have it. We stopped seeing people wash their hands as soon as the mask came off, and the fact that people had to know how to wash their hands was astonishing. So, I mean, was he wrong? I don't know. Handing it over to Don.
All right, Don. Because I understand, but I saw it firsthand, the people going through it. I saw it.
I know you saw it firsthand. But Don, what do you think? Do you think Donald Trump is a loser because of this pandemic?
No. I mean, I think it was one of those cases where what Wiley's saying is kind of true from this point. In my opinion, I think something happened that's never happened before, ever in the public sector. You had someone in a high political position tell you the unadulterated truth live on TV time and time again. But the narrative was spent to where it didn't matter what he said. I still was going to hate him, or we're still going to hate him, or we're you get what I'm saying? So it was one of those things where I saw like I see all these people kill the messenger and forget the message. You get what I'm saying? And so I don't think at the end of the day, I don't think he's a loser, bro. It just something is lost in the translation. You know what I mean? And it could be the media and the whole spin thing they do, propaganda and whatnot. But it also could be him being tone deaf, like Wally said. But whatever it is, it wouldn't matter because he's done so much and said so much idiotic shit that he's never going to get a pass for anything he says. Even if he told you the truth in your face, you hate him so much that it doesn't matter coming out of his mouth, anybody's mouth but his. And I think that's going to come back to bite a lot of people in the butt.
Ooh.
I agree. Now, I believe, because I read this book, right? This is a big book about I Alone Can Fix It. And it talk about how Trump was notified by China. It was a scientist in China, their quote unquote CDC, told an American CDC people from America, hey, we got this virus over here. Blah, 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 blah. This was close to the election. Like really, really close. Trump said, no, let's not call this a health thing. Let's ignore it because I don't want to lose. I want to win. He downplayed it. If Trump would have just took it serious, at least pretend to stay on script with the teleprompter, he'd still be elected. Then you can roast China, but that wasn't the time to roast China when people died. This is the time we're looking for a leader to be calm and say, okay, you guys, we're dealing with this, but as America, we can get through it. Let's social distance. Let's wash our hands. Let's listen to the CDC. Stay on message. But all of these side rants, Don, we can use some bleach, right? Don, bleach, pine salt, little pine salt, bleach. Don Couture Bay, right? Paul, some bleach. He was just going, baby, when he was doing his press, did this man just say bleach and pine salt? And people was taking him at his word.
But you know what? As somebody who was in Asia during that, we were having the worst time ever. So the fact that my little piece of comedy came from the American people, thank you. Okay.
it was really, 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 really funny. It was just the whole idea. He didn't believe in
people
math.
dying was not funny.
It was.
But honestly and truly, I don't think anybody was prepared. And I think that we're doing a lot of experimental things versus doing the life-saving things, because when we really go back and look, some of those practices they were doing back then, they're not doing now.
I can give you a laundry list. I can give you a laundry. Let's talk about the main one, Wiley. Let's talk.
Oh yeah. He about to get. Oh, they'll go into that because you ain't gonna like it because you gonna get into the thing, and they definitely don't like that.
Oh no, what we not gonna do is that. But I will tell y'all this.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say like at the when it first happened, when COVID first happened, what did they want to do with the unalived people?
Oh yeah. Okay.
What did they want to do?
They wanted some way to dispose them. You said, well, how did they want to dispose them?
What did they say was the safest and the
cremate. Yeah.
Cremate.
Yeah, right. Cremate. It's actually the cheapest way, to be honest.
No. Think about what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, but yeah.
Think about what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All we know is our loved one passed away or was, unalived or whatever. And then they said they were so contaminated and it was so contagious that it had to be cremated at once.
Yeah.
Without us seeing any proof of what happened or anything. Remember, we weren't even allowed in the hospital. They had you back there by yourself. With all this crazy stuff. It was so contagious. Everybody had to wear all the hazmat stuff. You get what I'm saying? That's how it was. Like it was the bubonic plague.
Yeah, and it was. It's in some instance because I would have been zoned out if I didn't work in healthcare, if I didn't see it firsthand. I was so scared because I saw the shift. I saw people just getting really, really sick. I'd seen it with my own two eyes. It was something strange. If you work at a nursing home, anything that happened, you're gonna see it. And I saw it.
It was them first, though.
Right.
It was the wicked people in America.
I saw them first.
Yeah. Nobody, thank God, nobody like died. But when I saw the locals, like the Africans and the Asians, and they were sick and they had them in a reserved area, I was like, well, they're still alive. So what kind of strain is that?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
But I didn't want to say anything because I said, unless you see it,
absolutely,
you'll question anything. But trust me, when it was time to go bring them stuff, I'm telling you, we used to. All right, I'm gonna put my mask on, but spray me down with the Lysol.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Who were crazy because we didn't know. Nobody had answers, and I do feel like this. I'm in agreement with you, Dom. Like there was no real answers, and everything was like some type of like, let's try this and see method. And we figured out what worked, but now even with the figuring out what worked, there's issues and complications with that. Again, I say we're back at work. Even if you have it, you can come straight to work.
But that's only but what the CDC probably is talking about, like that's only if you have a mild case, because some people really didn't show symptoms. But if you if you have something, if you really, really sick, I don't go to work if I'm really, really sick. But the way this economy come, I do it. I understand you got to do what you got to do. But my thing is, I get it why they're changing it up, because just like the flu, we're just going to adapt to it. And that's just the way it is. It's going to be here. We're going to adapt to it. Even when we covered the Nature Boy trial, the judge got it. She had on her mask. She didn't have to quarantine because the rules changed. We're just going to adapt to it. It's here. Like, it's here. We're going to adapt to it. We're going to live through it. And so, but I do, to say that what Trump is a loser is because he didn't do a great job handling that crisis. That was his September 11th, and it was on a more worldwide stage, and he wasn't a great leader in that instance. Even though some of the things he said was true, and it would be written down in history, some of the stuff that Trump goes on side rants, and wherever he said we was with him, but we get lost because he said something about